We already made one food and wine video where we ate all the food, but wouldn't you know it, Epcot went and opened some more food booths. So now we are back for all the food part 2. Plus we've got some big news for the channel. Let's go do it. Hi ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. We are back to eat even more delicious food, but first we've got a quick update about the channel, specifically about our website. We have got a brand new website coming your way very soon. I'm super excited about this because it's going to be all the things I originally wanted our website to be, but never quite made it. I always wanted Ear Scouts to be like a community where people would come together in maybe the comments and be able to exchange ideas and share how their trip went. And a lot of folks do that in the comments here on YouTube, but it's kind of hard to sift through all of those different comment feeds. So on our new website, we are going to have a forum, and I am so excited about it. I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you about your different vacations and helping all of you to plan your next trip. But most importantly, I'm excited to see everybody come together to help each other, because obviously we can only answer so many comments, and it is so helpful when you guys jump in and help each other out. So hopefully that forum is going to make it even better and an even more fun way to spend some time on our website. Another thing that a lot of folks have asked about that we're finally going to do, we are going to start a Patreon. Basically, Patreon is a way that you can support your favorite creators with a small monthly donation, and in exchange for that, you get exclusive access to content. We're going to be making videos just for Patreon. We're also going to be making more videos to share with all of you here on our YouTube channel. We don't have a specific date yet for when the website and Patreon are going to open up, but we will definitely put it out on our different social media feeds, or you can just check for yourself and see if the new site is up over at earscouts.com. But for right now, we've got some more food and wine to eat and drink here at Epcot, so let's get to it. The first booth on our new food adventure is Hawaii. This one actually opened right after we did our video, but unfortunately it was a little too late for us to include it. It's right across from Port of Entry, right here at the Entry to World Showcase if you're coming up from Spaceship Earth. This is a returning festival booth, and pretty much all the food was stuff that they've offered in years past. The one that was really different though, we felt like, was the cheesecake. While we liked this in previous years, we really loved it this year. It was rich and creamy and sweet, and we loved the crunch that you get from the macadamia nut. Next up is the Spam Sushi. This one we have liked in years past, but this year it just was not great. It might have just been the day that we had it. Our problem with it was mainly the rice. The sushi rice was almost gummy and gritty. It just wasn't properly prepared. Also, when we've had the Spam Sushi before, they gave the Spam a nice sear, which adds a layer of flavor. This Spam did not taste properly seared. It was just kind of like Spam from the can with gummy sushi rice. We also tried the Kahlua pork sliders. This is one that we love year after year, although this year it could have just been the day that we had it. The pork was a little bit dried out, and it does seem like this portion size has gotten a little bit smaller over the years, but maybe that's just our imagination. Either way, it is definitely worth a stop at Hawaii just to taste that delicious cheesecake. Our next booth is actually our favorite of all the new booths that opened up. Wine and Wedge offers some amazing cheese. There is a heavenly souffle, and of course, there's a lot of different wines on offer. One important thing to note about the menu here that's not obvious when you look at it, so there are two different cheese plate offerings. One of them comes with a flight of wine. The other looks like it's the same thing just without the wine, but it's actually not. When you get the cheese plate by itself, there are some additional cheeses and some additional accompaniments that you get. So do know that when you get it with the wine, you're going to be getting a more limited selection. If you're trying to decide between the two, I would definitely recommend the cheese board that doesn't come with the wine, because we really loved all the cheeses that were on offer. Also, the wines were not really our favorite from the festival. So there are 3 wines. One is a Riesling, which was pretty standard if you've never had Riesling before. It's like a sweet white wine that comes from Germany. The second was an apple brandy. This one tasted almost like try-a-minute cough syrup. I don't know. You might enjoy it. For me, it just reminded me of childhood cough medicine. So the third offering was probably my favorite. It was a port wine that actually comes from Florida, believe it or not. It's called a black and blue port. What I loved about this was the finish. It almost had like a blue cheese flavor on the finish, which is, I'm guessing, why they call it black and blue. But if I were you and you really wanted some wine to go with your cheese, I'd say skip the flight and just get that port because it was really unique. The cheese board though, man, this was delicious. We loved all of the cheeses. There was a brie, a cheddar, there was a blue cheese, and then there was an espresso cheese, which I didn't know that it was espresso cheese when I was eating it. Didn't really taste like espresso to me, but it did taste delicious, so I'm fine with it either way. Next up was a pimento cheese that was served with grilled bread and pickled veggies. This one was really good, but I wouldn't say it was all that exciting. You could definitely get pimento cheese that was this good at other festivals or probably even from your local gourmet food shop. Our absolute favorite thing that we tried here though was the souffle. Man, this thing is rich and pillowy and just heavenly delicious. If you're only gonna have one of these new items, this is the one. It is divine. While we're on our way over to our next booth, I want to talk about something else that is new since our last video, and that is Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. Now, this is something that comes every year around Halloween time here at Epcot. It's just like Remy's Hide and Squeak, but instead of looking for Remy, you're going to be looking for pumpkins that are dressed up as different Disney characters. There's a map that comes with stickers on the back, and when you find the different pumpkins, you mark them with the stickers, and in the end, you get a special prize. This year, there are these little pumpkin sippers. I wasn't crazy about the prizes that were on offer, so we decided to skip the Pumpkin Pursuit, but it is there, and it is a super fun activity for your kids to do while you're headed around Epcot and World Showcase. So now we are headed from Wine and Wedge to Char and Chop. This booth is all about meat and meat-like things. First up is the porchetta. This one we were a little bit divided on. Eric loved it. For me, it was just kind of okay. It is a roasted pork dish with a lemon parsley salsa verde. I really loved the freshness of the salsa verde, and also the pork was nice and tender and juicy. What I didn't love about it though was it was a little bit on the fatty side. I prefer a leaner cut of meat, and this one definitely had a good bit of fat. But if you're okay with that, or you like a fattier cut of meat, you're probably gonna really love this one. There was also what they called a meat assorti, which was sort of like a charcuterie plate, although we just didn't love any of the charcuterie. The salami was good. There was also prosciutto that was kind of fine, but not amazing. The other piece of meat I think was maybe a speck. I couldn't tell what exactly it was, but I think it was a speck. I just didn't dig this one. I think if you're in the mood for charcuterie, you should definitely head over and get charcuterie in a cup from the Spain booth. That was actually one of our favorites from the original booths of the festival. The third and final dish at the meat booth is actually not meat. It is impossible meat, but it is important to note, I don't think this dish is entirely plant-based. Usually Disney will put a little insignia saying that it's plant-based. This one did not have that. So while the sausage is Impossible sausage, I think the ricotta that comes with it is real ricotta. If it's not, it's a really good facsimile because it was really creamy and rich, and it paired beautifully with the Impossible sausage. The sausage had a lot of bold flavor. It was on the spicy side, but it was balanced beautifully by the puttanesca sauce and the creaminess from that ricotta. Next door to Char and Chop, you're gonna find the Noodle Exchange. If you're a big fan of ramen, this is probably gonna be your spot. As it gets cooler, I think the ramen will be more appreciated. When we tried it, it was still blazing hot. So I don't really love a bowl of hot soup on a crazy hot Florida day. Call me weird. Today it's actually pretty mild. I think it's like in the 70s. So this would be a great day to have some ramen. Believe it or not, my favorite was the shrimp ramen. It was made with a Thai coconut broth and it was delicious. I could just drink that broth straight. I'm not a big fan of shrimp. I don't love shrimp, but I was kind of fine with this because it had really simmered in that broth and took on that curry coconut flavor. So I actually really enjoyed it. I did not, however, enjoy the Impossible dish here. This one is kind kind of weird. It's an Impossible sausage, but it's in a chicken broth. It's like they were starting to make it plant-based, but then at the last minute they're like, just throw it in some chicken broth. It was kind of an odd choice, so I didn't love it. It would maybe be a good option for plant-based eaters, but it's not plant-based, so it's not. There is, however, a tofu option that is plant-based, but we really didn't like this one that much either. The tofu just didn't have a lot of flavor. That's kind of the thing with tofu. You gotta really know how to prepare tofu for it to make a great dish, and this just wasn't great. The other one that we both did like was the beef ramen. This is the most traditional of the ramens here, and it was good. I wouldn't say it was something that I'm excited to go back for, but if you're in the mood for ramen, this is a good traditional option. Our next stop is Bubbles and Brine, and this booth is all about really nice champagne and really fresh seafood. You can actually get a glass of Dom Perignon, the original champagne here, for $69. We did not try the $70 champagne, but we did try the seafood that was on offer. If you watch the channel a lot, you know I'm not a seafood guy, but I did try both of these things, and I can tell you they both tasted very fresh. They were also enormous. I'd never had the Jonah crab claws before, but these were really huge crab claws. It was very cool looking. Both of these dishes, though, they were pretty much what you see is what you get. They were more or less unadorned, fresh crab, fresh shrimp. If that's what you're in the mood for, that's what you're gonna get. The last new booth we're gonna talk about today is Swirled Showcase, and we saved this one for last because it is the perfect spot for dessert. Everything here is centered around ice cream and frozen treats, specifically soft serve ice cream. If you remember where the old Starbucks was located before it moved into Connections, this is that same spot. They've opened it up to basically serve a bunch of different premium soft serves, as well as some other unique frozen treats. As far as the soft serve goes, it's definitely a step up from what you usually get here at Disney World. The vanilla soft serve, for example, has actual flecks of vanilla bean, which that is pretty premium for Disney World soft serve. They also had a really tasty salted caramel soft serve, but that one is basically the same thing that you get over at Auntie Gravity's in Magic Kingdom. So if you've had that there, you could probably skip that. I don't know that it's exactly the same, but I think it might be. The third option was actually our favorite. That was the apple cinnamon soft serve. It was really more of a cinnamon flavor than an apple flavor, but it was nice and creamy and delicious. Definitely recommend that if you're a fan of like cinnamon churro flavor. I feel like there was like a churro vibe going on in there. We also tried a few of the floats that were on offer. Probably the most unique and our favorite was the Three Daughters Coconut Porter float. So if you've never had porter, it's a little bit bitter, it's a darker beer, and it really pairs nicely with the salted caramel ice cream that they use to make the float. I really love this one because I love that clash of the bitter flavor from the beer and the creaminess and sweetness from the salted ice cream. It was really tasty. The other float we tried was the grape soda float. Not gonna lie, this was not our favorite. If you love really sweet things, you might enjoy this, but it tastes pretty much exactly like it sounds. Grape soda with some vanilla ice cream in there. Probably this one will be more popular with the kids, I'm guessing. And finally, we come to the most interesting thing on offer here at this booth, and that is the Mickey-shaped Nitro Cake Pop. So it's basically like a Mickey-shaped cake pop, but then they take the whole thing and they flash freeze it in liquid nitrogen, which is a really cool thing to watch them do. But it also makes a really delicious treat. I love the texture of this one because you get that flash frozen exterior, but it's still kind of chewy on the inside. It was a really good treat. It pretty much tasted like a really rich chocolate brownie with some chocolate chips on the outside. I almost forgot to mention all three of the items over at Wine and Wedge are appropriately enough on a Meals Fromage Montage, which meant we got 3 more stamps and earned another completer treat. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this delicious, somewhat free ice cream, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and it helped you to decide what things you want to eat when you're here for food and wine. If it did, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and then ring that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.